pray that we spend these next few minutes together. We walk out of here wearing something we didn't wear coming in. We look like you, we live like you, we love like you. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. You may be seated. Can we give the band a hand? They do so good. They come here and volunteer every week and put in hours, not just this morning, but preparing for today, and we're just blessed to have them. Before I get into really where I want to talk today, I want to remind you that tonight at Spencer's Place, 7 o'clock tonight, we're starting our young adult happy hour. Spencer's Place here in Surprise. It's a great coffee shop. It's an interesting coffee shop. Spencer's Place owners, 13 of their employees are special needs individuals, and that's all that they employ. And it's a great place to support. So I'll just do a commercial for them. But tonight, 7 o'clock, young adult happy hour. I want to talk to you today about a super important piece of just being a human. This thing we call the human connection. How do we really connect? How do we live the human connection? A piece of the human connection is how we act, we encourage, or we live generously. But what's the connection? And today I want to talk about the human connection, what we call friendship. Usually when we talk about friendship, it's tied to dating or marriage or parenting. But today I want to grab something I rarely hear about, is talk about real friendship. Deep, lifelong friendship. The human connection is where I want to go today. We should desire a culture of friendship. And it's not often talked about or thought in a public place like this. We search for God, and in our search for God, we start desiring connection with humans, and then in our desire to connect with humans, we find that we're pursuing God. And why is that? It's because they're intrinsically connected. The pursuit of friendship and the pursuit of God and the pursuit of God and the pursuit of friendship are very tightly connected. And today, man, I hope I can leave here today knowing that you can be a better friend, and you can make better friends in this human connection pursuit that we're all created to have. The evidence of our relationship with God is my relationship with God transforming my relationships with humans. Am I better at being a human? Am I better at being connected with humans? And so how do you do it? How do you make friends? And how do you sustain friends? And how do you build friends? We're going to talk about some of that today. Have you ever noticed in life that there's people that they just walk around thinking everybody's a friend? They just have, everybody's my friend. I got lots of friends. Can I just say to you that if everybody you know is your BFF, you don't have a BFF. It's because it's not designed to be plural. It's okay to be careful about who you make friends with. It's okay to be careful about who you allow to influence who you are. There's a meme out there that says, when I walk alone, at least I know I'm with somebody I can trust. But the sad part is, if you're walking alone, you don't have anyone you can trust. And that's contrary to the human connection called friendship. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs was written by a guy named Solomon. Solomon was the wisest man that's ever lived, and as far as records have been kept, the wealthiest man that's ever lived. We're blessed, and he left us 3 books of the Bible, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, and Song of Solomon, to tell us about his successes and to teach us about his failures. And the book of Proverbs is so good because in it, he just drops these one-liners that if we'll let them, they can help us in this human connection called friendship. Proverbs 18:24 says this: one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. This proverb ends with a promise that there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin. Can I tell you? Listen to me. Young adults, listen to me. If you show me your friends, I will show you your future. One who has unreliable friends. And I find it interesting that this book we call the Bible that tells us about the Creator, the Ancient of Days, the one who always has been. I find it interesting that God of the universe thinks it's important enough to leave this to us. Why? Because he cares deeply about our friendships. He cares deeply about our human connection. He cares deeply about who we allow to connect with us and who we connect with. And so he's good enough that he leaves us to tell us that an unreliable friend will soon bring you to ruin. But there is one, I promise you that there is one that will stay closer than a brother. So how do we make lifelong friends? I don't know if you're a note taker or how you think. I don't really think always linear ABC, but today I want to give you four ways that I believe that we can make lifelong friends. We can make this human connection last for a lifetime. I think, now don't mistake this with seasonal friends. There are seasonal friends. There's people in our lives that come along when we need them to get to a certain point, or to help us reach a certain success, or to give us advice in a certain decision. There's seasonal friends, and we miss those. We miss those seasonal friends. But today I don't want to talk about those, and I don't want to cast shade on seasonal friends. But I do want to talk about how to make lifelong friends. How do we make this human connection that God is concerned about, wants to talk to us about? This is number one. Very simple. Number one in lifelong connection. Find someone that will tell you the truth. And be someone that will tell the truth. Find someone that will tell the truth and be someone that will tell the truth. Look, Proverbs again from Solomon. Solomon says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. If you've ever been in a metal shop, seen anything metal created, or seen, my dad grew up, he was a blacksmith, he would shoe horses, and so we were easily seeing how he would form the shoes, and so if you're ever in a metal shop, when you see something being sharpened or formed, there's fire, there's friction, there's sparks, there's heat. And then there's sticking it in water, instant, it's cold, it's a shock. That's metal. Listen, we have to have people in our life that are willing to go through friction with us. When I hear this statement, it frightens me. When I hear this statement that says, we're great friends, we never fight. Can I tell you, if you never fight, you don't know if that's a friend. You don't know. If there's never been any friction in your relationship, don't be convinced that your relationship is a friendship. It might be for entertainment purposes. We have to have people in our life that speak truth. And not people that drop truth bombs in relationships they haven't even invested in. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about people with friends after we fight. People that believe this. Listen, when you won't speak the truth into a friend's life, that means you're willing to leave them at their worst point. And what true friend would leave someone at their lowest level? Because they wouldn't speak truth in love, not truth and love. We need to have their lives. And we don't want to leave people at their worst. Here's the true friends do this. True friends in friction. True friends work through a problem and work through a problem and work through a problem. Why? Because they're more committed to each other than they are to the problem. This is so important. From an old guy to the young people. Be more committed to the people than you are to the problem between you and the people. And you'll begin making lifelong friends in this human connection. Proverbs 27:6 says this and this. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Wounds from a friend can be trusted. Sometimes we need a friend to get our attention in love, but it can be trusted. But kisses of the enemy? I wonder if that's where we get the imagery of kissing out. We're just kissing out. Listen, if all you have people in your life, the only people in your life are telling you how good you are, check your friendship. Check your friendship. I've had people say to me, Pastor, I hope that you don't disappoint as a friend. I'm going to disappoint you. I'm human. I drop the ball probably more than anyone. I'm the best at messing up. I don't need someone to just kiss them. I need the wounds of a friend. Why? Listen, you want someone in your life that will tell you the truth before your life hits the bottom. Does that make sense? We need that in this human connection of friendship. When Tracy and I met, she's my wife, by the way. When Tracy and I met, 3 weeks into our relationship, I told her, I looked at her, I said, you are the one I'm supposed to marry. Like I was like, this is it. You're the one. And you know how she responded? She laughed at me. She cracked up laughing. She's like hysterical laughing. But it was, in hindsight, it was very wise. We were together 3 years before we got married. Why? Because here's what we do. Even in the marriage friendship, we get involved with someone that we never have any friction with. We get involved with someone that we never have to do any life with, and we think because we feel good, we'll make a decision to spend our lives together, and then when something doesn't feel good comes along, we end it. By the way, I'm going to do something I'm going to get in trouble for later. I won't ever point out my wife, so I'm just going to stand by her. I just want to say to you, young people, this is my amazing wife, Tracy. And I want you to know she comes here every Wednesday. I praise for you. Why? Because of the human connection. Because you go through tough times together. And you build the human connection. Listen, if you want to have lifelong friends, you've got to be someone in your life who will tell you the truth. Listen, we need someone who will help us sharpen ourselves. Look at Proverbs 27:9. The heartfelt counsel of a friend is sweet, watch this, is sweet as perfume and incense. The imagery is incredible. First off, the heartfelt counsel of a friend, you know what that is? That's someone that loves you. They may not always like you, but they love you, and they love you enough to bring the aroma of perfume and incense. Why both? Because perfume affects me personally, incense affects my environment. That friend with a heartfelt love for me changes my environment and helps me be heartfelt towards you. And I carry a fragrance and I express a fragrance because of the heartfelt counsel of someone that doesn't always like me, to love me? How do we make lifelong friends in this friendship, this human connection? Well, the second piece is find someone that will stick it out with you during tough times. Find someone that will stick it out with you during tough times. Listen, deep friendships are not built during times of success. No, deep friendships are forged. They're forged when we're in a battle. We need to have someone that will walk through it. With Proverbs 17:17 says this, watch this. A friend loves at all times. The wisest man that ever lived. A friend loves at all times. A friend loves at all times. And a brother is born for a time of adversity. Listen, in times of trouble, I don't want friends that are going to pull away. In times of trouble, I want friends that are going to lean in. I want friends that will go through this tough time with me. As I build lifelong friendships and this human connection, first I need people to tell me the truth, and I need to be willing to tell the truth. Secondly, I need people that will take me through tough times. I ask you to ask yourself right now, rhetorically, who's in your life that will be with you when you succeed and when you fail? And if you can't name someone, you're missing out on the human connection. Who's with you in both seasons? Who's with you all the time? Oh, Pastor, I got all kinds of friends. Check my social media. I got all kinds of friends. Can I tell you about social media? Let me just pop your bubble a second here. The majority of the likes that you're getting on your posts are coming from people that are sitting on a toilet. Wrong image? Proverbs 27:10 says this, one wise man that ever lived. Never abandon a friend. Just that line right there. This book written for us by the God of the universe puts those lines in it. Never abandon a friend. He leaves that for us. Real relationships. One of the saddest conversations I have with anyone out there is when a young adult doesn't have a friendship with their parents, and the parents don't have a friendship with a young adult. I'm going to show you a picture up here, if I can. This is my family. This is my wife and our 6 children. And they're all adult children. And I want to tell you, that right there, those are my 7 closest friends. Not just children, not just their dad, not just some of their pastor, not just the husband. These are my closest friends. Why? Because even in a family, you have to choose to walk through difficulty. Even in a family, you have to choose to speak truth and to have truth spoken into you. True family never abandon a friend. It's so critical. Listen, don't bail on someone when they need you the most. And I believe as I say that some of you in this room are thinking of someone right now that's going through a critical time. That you can reach out to them with a text or a phone call or a Snapchat or an Instagram or there's some way. Today's technology is crazy. To send a word that says, I believe in you. And I want to make a human connection. Our friendship. Well, first, if we're going to have lifelong friends, first we need to have someone that will speak truth to us, and we need to be someone that will speak truth. And secondly, we need to have someone that we know will walk through difficult times. One of my greatest successes of friendship, Tracy and I, we were together 3 years, and next July we will celebrate 40 years of being married. 43 years together. 43 years. Do you know how lucky she is? Don't shake your head. Don't bail friendship. Number 3 is find someone that has your back. Now that may sound like the last point that says find someone going through tough times, but it's not the same at all. Find someone that has your back. Proverbs, again, from the wisest man that ever lived, leaves us this piece. 16:28 says, a troublemaker plants seeds of strife. Gossip separates best friends. Who's talking about you behind your back? And who are you talking about behind their back? Gossip is worse than COVID. It's poison. It separates best friends. There's no vaccine that will solve it. But gossip is crazy. We have a whole industry committed to gossip. We call it paparazzi. They make millions of dollars on gossip. And isn't it easy to get sucked into? And we spiritualize it too. I get that a lot. Just as a pastor, I guess it's my role in life. People feel like they need to spiritualize their gossip. So they'll come to me and go, hey, pastor, look, just something to be praying about. I don't know if you know, but, oh, pastor, look, I just want to warn you, listen, just between you and me. And my question is, you're telling me, have you told this person the truth that you think they need to hear? Or are you just talking about this person? Who's got your back? Be the kind of person that speaks well about other people. Before we started there, I was speaking with Dr. Tyner and talking about the universal law of sowing and reaping. The universal law looks like this. It's universal, which means it fits everyone. Whether you're in a faith relationship with God or you're not is irrelevant. There's universal laws. Gravity is a universal law. Nobody escapes it. Jump in the air, you'll come down. It's a universal law. Sowing and reaping is a universal law. It affects everyone. If you're kind, you'll reap kindness. If you're generous, you'll gain generosity. If you speak well of others, others will speak well of you. But you need to know that you have friends that have your back. You need to know what your friends are saying about you or how they're defending you when you're not in the room. And what's the best way to know that? How do you speak about them or defend them when they're not in the room? I was a youth pastor for 17 years, and I was speaking to teenagers' lives. And of course, the teenagers would come to me and talk about, you know, they want to date. They want to date. Junior high, they want to date. What are you going to do, ride a bike? I would say to the young ladies, listen to me. You want to know if this is the right guy? Listen to how he talks about his mother. Because that's how he's going to talk about you. College, listen to me. University students, this happens on, if this ever happens on Ottawa's campus, I want to say that. It doesn't happen here. This happens on other campuses where two young people meet each other and they begin disclosing with each other their deepest, darkest secrets because after a full month, they know they're the one. And then after that full, and it doesn't happen here, I know that. But then after that full month ends because you realize, well, you're not the one. But now I'm loaded with these deep, dark secrets, and what am I going to do with them? And instead of using them to treat a healthy human connection, they become weapons. Because gossip separates friends. Be the kind of person that can be trusted, or you will die alone. You will die alone. Oh, there may be people at your funeral, but you will die alone. It's so interesting, this pursuit of the human connection that we call friendship. It's so important, and yet so difficult sometimes to maintain. It's so important, and yet sometimes so confusing. And that's why we have a God that loves us and have to lead an instruction to make this human connection last a lifetime. If we want it to last a lifetime, we have to have someone in our life that will speak truth. And we need to be someone that will speak truth. And if we want to have a lifetime human connection,
We need to have someone in our life that will be with us through the tough times, will be through difficult times, and then I'll be with them their worst. And then third, this piece that we call the human connection called friendship, this lifetime of friendship is who has my back? There's someone in my life that I know what they would say about me in private. And the way that I know is what I would say about them in private. It's difficult to always have someone's back, but we can do it. I know we can do it. My gosh, we can do it. The Diamondbacks have more fans than some people have friends. And they've had more bad seasons than you have. Finally, number 4, find someone that celebrates your success. Find someone that celebrates your success. I'm going to read a verse out of the book in the Old Testament called Jeremiah. Jeremiah was a prophet. Prophet meant that he had a word from God. And so before Jesus and the cross and the presence of Holy Spirit, God communicated through prophets. And one of the prophets is a dude named Jeremiah. And Jeremiah was bringing a promise to the Hebrew people, saying, you're going to return to your land. At this time, the Hebrew people were all in exile. They were spread out around the known world. Excuse me. They were spread out around the known world. And they were in different cities and different regions of the world. And Jeremiah had a word from God, and so he tells them, hey, I got an encouraging word. God's going to bring us all back. We're going to gather together. It's really awesome. After COVID, we get to meet again. And so he gives them this piece of advice. Until that time, I know you're in exile. It's like he sent out, Pastor Jeremiah sent out an email to his people and said, look, I know that you're in exile. I know that you're in a difficult place. God's going to bring us back together. But until then, let me give you some advice. And this is what Jeremiah says. Also, seek the peace and the prosperity of the city to which I've carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. Celebrate others' successes at the expense of your own. We don't live in that kind of a culture today. No, we don't. We live in a culture that as soon as someone is elevated, we start finding ways to point out their weaknesses and pull them down. In Australia, it's called the crabbing effect. When crabs are in a pen and one of them begins to crawl out, the rest of them will pull that crab and bring it back down. And listen, in a school that is so heavily emphasized on athletics, and I get it and I love it, and you have an amazing school and amazing opportunities here athletically. But even in athletics, it's difficult, isn't it? You show up, you've been working your tail off, you got a scholarship, you come to practice every day, you stay late, you come in early, you break your tail, you came from a big high school, you were the hero there, you're going to make it happen here, it's now, it's going to happen, and some dude from Iowa shows up. And all he ever did was work on his dad's farm, running a tractor. And he's here because his dad sold the tractor to pay for his school. And he shows up at one practice and gets your starting position. Can you celebrate that? Because that's what this human connection is. That's friendship. Can I celebrate other people's success at the expense of my own? I spend as much time as I can on this campus. Because I have to be honest with you, over the course of being here, over the course of last school year and this school year, I'm just, I don't want to be weird, but if you've been around very long, you know that I'm weird. I love you guys. I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray if you need a friend, you'll text me. Because I'll tell you truth and I'll let you tell me truth. And I'll be there in tough times and I will hope you'll be there in mine. I will always have your back. And I will celebrate your successes at the expense of myself. Because that's the real human connection. That's the real human connection. But Jesus himself left this in. It's not on the screen. I want you to hear it. Jesus himself left this for us. As I come in for close, he says, in the book of John, his beloved disciple, Jesus, sorry for getting emotional. But Jesus says this, there is no greater love than to lay down one's life for a friend. And he didn't just say it, he did it. Here's the point. It's super important that we have a relationship with God. It's super important that we're growing in our faith. But he didn't want us to lose this piece. He wants to be our friend. Greater love has no one than the dude that laid his life down for you and for me. That is a friend. And that is the picture of the human connection that we're all created to have and deeply crave. And adults, listen to me. Take these 4 pieces. Live them. Create on this campus a culture of friendship. A human connection. Will you stand? I'm going to ask before the band sings us one more song. We're going to one more song with the band, and then I'll come up and dismiss. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you right now, if you do something I don't often ask in this room, would you close your eyes? And maybe bow your head if that's a posture you'd like to take. I don't care if you look up, look down. I don't care. I just ask you to close your eyes and remove distraction. Are you a friend? With your eyes closed, nobody else knowing what that answer is, are you a friend? Do you have a friend? Do you know Jesus? He died to become your friend.
Your love never fails, never gives up, it never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, it never runs out.
better friend and making better friends. Because we all are living this human connection. I say it to you and I mean it. This isn't an infomercial. If I can meet you, please text me. City Church gathers here on campus every Sunday over in Founders Hall, 10:30. I know what we're good at. We're good at making friends. Part of our culture. Tonight, happy hour expenses is a good place to begin the journey. More importantly, thank you for being here today. And let me pray over you before we go. So Lord, I thank you for your grace. I thank you that you are the true friend. You're the picture of the best friend. You're a lifelong friend. And you're a committed friend. You speak truth to us and you let us speak truth to you. You're there in our tough times. We know you've got our back. And you celebrate our successes. You're such a good friend. May we live, love, and look like you in our human connection. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Ottawa, God bless you. Have a great week.